Episode 70 of the Interpretation Station is called to order. Welcome, everybody. So, in fact, I should say episodio 70 della Stazione de Interpretariato, as I am told by my assistant here, Madam Sara Molinari. Yes, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We've got a new Italian show for you today. It's another collab between me and Sara. I have picked out a statement that I did. This was from a few months ago, back in March, big session of the Human Rights Council. So it was actually by Italy speaking about the crisis in Syria. So I selected this statement for a couple of reasons. So one, because it's interesting to see for you Italian guys out there watching, guys and girls, what the position of Italy is on the big issues. And also, to be honest, this statement, it uses a lot of very good constructions, very good vocabulary that you hear all the time in the media, in politics. Lots of these constructions, lots of these collocations you're going to be coming across frequently. And so it's good to know how you're going to deal with them. So, Sara, how are you?
I'm fine. You?
No, not bad. Thank you. Not bad.
Okay.
Exciting things are happening where I am today because Biden and Putin are in town.
Oh, big day.
Oh, yeah, in Geneva. And they've blocked up all the traffic. It's a real pain in the culo.
Yeah.
Is that a pain?
Sì, è vero. Immagino. I can imagine the situation. What is the traffic and yeah,
it's
really bad. Okay. So yes, today dichiarazione rilasciata dall'ambasciatore Gian Lorenzo Cornado, rappresentante permanente dell'Italia alle Nazioni Unite di Ginevra. Allora, iniziamo con il primo paragrafo in cui vediamo Italy would like to thank the COI, quindi è la commissione d'inchiesta, Commission of Inquiry, for the report.
So the COI.
COI.
So this is the COI, we often say in English. You need to recognize that because these COIs are becoming quite popular. So I think they're going to set something similar. I may have said this in a previous episode, probably for the situation in Israel and Palestine. I think they basically passed a resolution that they were going to set up something similar. So this idea of a COI, Commission of Inquiry, is something I think you're going to hear quite a lot of.
Yeah. And in Italian is Commissione d'inchiesta. Okay, we are speaking about violations, human rights violation committed by all parties to the conflict in Syria, quindi violazioni dei diritti umani molto gravi e commesse dalle parti coinvolte nel conflitto della Siria, in Siria, nell'ultimo decennio. Quindi, ecco, un altro termine che troviamo sempre in questo paragrafo è extended appreciation for. Se stessi facendo una simultanea, semplicemente direi ringrazia, ma potremmo anche dire estende i suoi ringraziamenti a, porge i suoi ringraziamenti a.
Quindi... I mean, to me, as an interpreter, like when I hear something this, like extend its appreciation, it's a really long phrase that I suspect in Italian you can probably do in one word. You know, that's a sort of for me. I see that as an opportunity just to have a quick rest almost, rather than having to say the full extend its appreciation. What would that be? Yeah. Extendere su apprezzazione.
Estende il suo apprezzamento, estende il suo ringraziamento. Però, but it's a very long and redundant.
Yeah, that's a sort of opportunity you have just to use one word. I mean, if you're feeling under stress, okay, if you're feeling good, do the estendere and all that. But if you're feeling a bit nervous and you want to save your energies, just do it in one word. Ringrazia.
Ringrazia, esatto. Ringrazia, and that's it. Okay. And then second paragraph, it is appalling to look at the massive scale of abuses the Syrian people has suffered since 2011. It is appalling. Appalling means spaventoso, è terribile.
It's a good word, that.
Yeah.
I try to use that like when I'm interpreting from another language into to English. I try and use that appalling. It sounds a bit better, to be honest, than awful or terrible. Appalling, I don't know, it just sounds the right register. It just sounds, that's a word you definitely need to recognize when you're going from English, and have a good solution in Italian. So what's the best in Italian then?
Potremmo dire, we could say spaventoso, ma sconvolgente, sconcertante. There are lots of synonyms.
Yeah, you want a two or three, maybe.
But,
2 or 3, yeah.
Yeah, and we don't have that distinction in this case. For example, I mean, spaventoso, you can use this word also in high register, spaventoso, sconcertante, maybe a little bit high register, probably. But yeah, anyway, not big difference in any case. And the massive scale of abuses, massive scale of al massiccio dilagare di abusi che il popolo siriano ha sofferto a partire dal 2011. Quindi questo dilagare diremmo, in particular by the widespread use of arbitrary detention. Ecco, in particolare l'utilizzo di detenzione arbitraria, il diffuso utilizzo di detenzione arbitraria, tortura o inhuman and degrading treatment sono i trattamenti inumani e degradanti che questi popoli appunto soffrono da tanti anni.
So these are important. So this is what I was talking about in the introduction. These concepts are very important to get them really accurately. I mean, the concept of arbitrary detention, there's not much you can do with that. What do you say in Italian for arbitrary detention?
Sì, noi diremmo detenzione arbitraria.
Oh, okay, so it's similar.
Uso diffuso di detenzione arbitraria. Sì, detenzione it is a clear reference to someone who is a prisoner. So
exactly.
At least in this case, because you can use detenzione also for detenzione di armi. If you keep, for example, if you hold, your arms and in that case.
Yeah, so don't confuse it with that. So arbitrary detention, like you say, it's very much to do with being imprisoned somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah, but in this context, I think it is quite clear. I mean, because we are speaking about people, abuses, etc. So it's quite clear, at least in my opinion.
And this second part, this inhumane and degrading treatment. So the reference then to torture, inhumane and degrading treatment, that is again actually a very specific reference, because at the UN, one of the big treaties, one of the big conventions rather, it's known generally as the Convention Against Torture, but its full name is the Convention Against Torture and Other Cruel, Inhuman or Degrading Treatment. Okay, so that's a specific sort of reference to that convention. So again, you need to get that vocabulary very accurate when you're interpreting into Italian.
Yeah, right. And then it continues saying, including sexual and gender-based violence, so incluso la violenza sessuale di genere, diremmo.
And watch out for GBV. If I say GBV, you need to probably be able to understand that. You're going to often hear references to just GBV nowadays, more and more, without even hearing the full name. So GBV is gender-based violence.
Gender-based violence. Okay.
Do make a mental note of that when you're discussing something of this, of issues like this. GBV, it's increasingly, and I think I've even heard SGBV, sexual and gender-based violence. Yeah. So just make a mental note of that.
Yeah, and of course, as you already said, in other episodes, probably. English.
Probably. I tend to repeat myself a lot.
No, but that's fine.
Like a broken record, like a broken record.
No, no, but it helps to remember.
Yeah.
And because in English, there's a widespread use of acronyms that you like so much, right? So
yeah, exactly.
You have to pay attention and look for those words. And okay, and then it continues here. Okay, and the systematic and deliberate targeting of civilians and civilian objects. Okay, when reading it and thinking about a potential translation, I had some troubles in getting around this deliberate targeting of, perché noi diremmo è sistematico e deliberato, tra virgolette diremmo poniamo l'obiettivo, quindi porre l'obiettivo di, ma non si dice in questo caso, quindi il sistematico e deliberato obiettivo semplicemente di civili e oggetti civili, di civili. Quindi anche se si ripete, però anche in inglese abbiamo una ripetizione, quindi io forse lascerei, facendo una interpretazione, lascerei la ripetizione, ecco.
Object is a bit strange in English. I mean, civilian objects, so I mean, he's meaning buildings. You might use, I mean, as I say, he's not, you know, there's Italians, they're not native English speakers. You certainly have this word in other languages also, like in Russian, obiekty, and that objects, which refers to buildings. I think it's more or less sort of accepted. I think you can probably put it, yeah. Is obietti, I mean, is that the same in Italian?
In fact, it was quite weird, in fact. Civilian objects, piuttosto direi le proprietà delle persone civili, inteso come averi, gli averi, ok? Quindi sì, più che oggetti, è un po' generico, ecco, così, sembra quasi gli oggetti personali, ecco, detta così. Però, ok, quindi sì, allora sono le proprietà dei civili, ecco, incluse scuole.
I mean, when I hear a word like in Russian, as I say, when they say objekty, when they're referring to like buildings, I tend to just say facilities, targeting civil. But again, so here there's a sort of repetition because then he does say including schools and medical facilities.
Yeah, exactly. Incluse le scuole e le strutture mediche. Noi abbiamo le strutture, ecco, per non ripetere edifici sì, edifici medici non lo diciamo neanche in realtà. Quindi sì, strutture mediche è più comune, ecco. Poi abbiamo Italy urges all parties to take all necessary steps to reveal the fate of those who have been forcibly disappeared. Ecco, qui abbiamo coloro che sono scomparsi in maniera forzata, quindi sono stati fatti sparire, quindi qualcuno li detiene probabilmente contro la loro forza, contro la loro volontà. Maybe someone...
a slight difference here between the ideas of forcibly disappeared or that are still missing. So people who are, so if you're forcibly disappeared, that you're still under the category of also being a missing person.
Right.
But not everyone who goes missing has necessarily been forcibly disappeared. Now, there's a couple of committees like that where there is a big difference that they distinguish between those two concepts. Generally, though, generally speaking on the news and that, in English, for example, you'll hear about more just about missing persons because it's a more general concept. But yeah, I mean, we also talk in English about people being disappeared. It sounds a little bit weird, but it is used quite a lot. I think it dates back to, I think they first started to use it like in Argentina, the 1980s, if I'm not mistaken, Los Desaparecidos, when the military junta was disappearing people. So it's just good to know what the difference is between someone a disappeared person and a missing person. Okay, so a disappeared person is also a missing person.
Yeah.
But a missing person's not necessarily a disappeared person.
Not the other way around. Okay.
Exactly.
So,
and one other word I was going to talk about also, to reveal the fate. So another expression that you'll hear quite a bit is reveal the whereabouts. If you hear that in English, the whereabouts. Okay. So that means the location, the fate. It's something you'll hear equally, you know, as much as you'll hear about, to establish the whereabouts of missing persons, for example. So just be ready to...
rivelare il destino. Noi abbiamo, cioè, the fate per noi appunto è il destino, quindi rivelare, come per dire, rivelare che fine hanno fatto. Ok, in modo molto colloquiale, ecco. Però sì, se appunto, visto che siamo in un registro abbastanza perlomeno elevato, diremmo rivelare il destino, ecco. E poi engaging meaningfully with all relevant existing mechanisms and in supporting the families of the victims. Quindi sì, praticamente appunto prenderà le misure necessarie per impegnarsi in modo significativo con tutti i meccanismi esistenti e di supporto per le famiglie delle vittime. Quindi, ok. Poi abbiamo i perpetrators, impunity for the perpetrators, quindi qui sono gli autori o i responsabili dei crimini di guerra.
That's a very important word again to recognize. Do you have, you don't know, yeah, do you have
perpetratori, ma noi non lo usiamo. Chi
you don't
perpetra,
use,
coloro che perpetrano, those who perpetrate, ok, ma perpetratori no.
You wouldn't use it like that. Okay. Well, again, in English, you need to, I think, I mean, autori, I think that's what they use a lot in...
Sì, o responsabili.
Responsabili, right.
Sì. Dei crimini di guerra, crimini contro l'umanità, ok, and grave human rights violations, quindi gravi violazioni dei diritti umani. It is of utmost importance, ok, and as precondition, prerequisito, noi diremmo, una condizione...
It's funny you should say that. Because precondition, it sounds a bit, to me, it sounds a bit ugly in English.
Really?
This doesn't sound quite right. It's okay. Prerequisito, is that, in Italian. So prerequisite sounds somehow more English. So you'll hear that, so precondition, prerequisite. So
or a condition necessary for.
Well,
ok, sì, una condizione necessaria per, ok, foster peace and national reconciliation, ok, per alimentare la pace e la riconciliazione nazionale.
Alimentare,
Sì, to foster...
Would you say in Italian, fomentare?
Fomentare, I think it is more used for fomentare una guerra, fomentare a fight. Okay. Or a bad situation, a difficult situation. So fomentare, probably it's more related in a negative, to a negative context, probably.
Right. The only reason I ask is because when I hear it in Spanish, when I work from Spanish into English, and I hear fomentare, and it's used about something good, okay? I tend to say foster when it's something about something good, because I just fomentare and I immediately think of foster. Okay. So, but like you say, so the idea is this is good, peace and national reconciliation. But if fomentare tends to be something bad in Italian, then I think you probably want something else.
I would use in a negative way, probably. So alimentare.
Because they talk, you know,
Alimentare, probably it's something also in a positive context again. So for a positive situation, okay, alimentare. I think it is more appropriate, probably.
Also, I know in Spanish, for example, they talk about el fomento de la confianza.
Ah, ok,
Like,
della fiducia.
would you say that? Would you say that in Italian or not?
Alimentare la fiducia.
Ah, okay, okay. You talk it's more alimentar. That's interesting. That's interesting.
Yeah.
The difference between Spanish and Italian.
Yeah, because they are often seen as very similar, Italian and Spanish, but there are a few a few differences. So, but okay, yeah, that's interesting, really. And okay, to restore justice and hold perpetrators accountable for their crimes. Okay.
Very important expression again. Very typical English expression coming from English.
Accountable for is responsabile per, quindi esatto, per ritenere, però per noi sarebbe in Italian it would be seen as a repetition almost, per ritenere gli autori responsabili per. It's a bit, I don't know how to say, redundant probably. Comunque per restaurare, ripristinare la giustizia e ritenere gli autori responsabili per, sì, noi diremmo così per facilitare, ecco, la traduzione, comunque, sì. E
You'll
poi,
hear quite a few variations of that. You'll hear sometimes hold perpetrators to account, or you'll hear sometimes to ensure accountability for crimes.
okay.
So you'll hear a few little sort of variations on that idea. And again, it's very important that you recognize that idea and that you have a sort of solution that you can quickly use.
That's the quickest solution, ritenere gli autori responsabili per. And then, therefore, Italy will spare no effort in bolstering all actions to fight impunity. Ok, quindi l'Italia non risparmierà alcuno sforzo in bolstering all actions, nell'intraprendere tutte le azioni per, ecco, mi sono segnata questo bolstering all actions, quindi to bolster è anche rafforzare, to strengthen, right?
Yeah.
Ok, quindi per...
bolster. What I was going to... sorry, you finished, Sarah. I was going to come back to the expression, we'll spare no effort.
Okay, okay, just to finish, bolstering all actions is... I would use the translation of rafforzare tutti gli sforzi. Oppure, sì, rafforzare è l'unica parola a cui sto pensando in questo momento, rafforzare tutte le azioni per combattere l'impunità oppure contro l'impunità, ecco, direi in questo modo. And you wanted to say something about effort.
We'll spare no effort. So I was going to ask you, is there in Italian, is there one word perhaps that you could use to reflect we'll spare no effort in? Because that's a sort of, again, this is the sort of, when I go into English and I hear an expression along those lines from the other language, when I go into English, so I often use the word to strive. So that's just like one, okay? I will say, so if I would say, therefore, Italy will strive to bolster all actions. So that strive in one word, more or less captures all those will spare no effort, all those four words. So I was just wondering if in Italian you have a word that, because again, maybe you're tired and you get the end of the statement or whatever, and to try and get the exact equivalent of will spare no effort, that can be really difficult. Is there a sort of single word or two words that you could use to capture that idea in Italian of will spare no effort in?
I'm thinking about it, but actually, ok, non risparmia sforzi, oppure farà di tutto per.
Okay, something like that, right?
Or something like that.
It's just that you don't really need that level of accuracy for some. I mean, so like you say, fare di tutto.
Farà di tutto per, farà il possibile per.
And it probably comes to mind more quickly, I'd say, than trying to find will spare no effort.
Oppure non si risparmierà affinché non si risparmierà se stessa. So it means, it is implicit that Italy will do some effort. will implement any kind of measure, every kind of measure to solve this solution, to solve this situation. Sorry.
Yeah.
So yeah. Anyway, yeah, it was not really probably the easiest the easiest thing that can come to your mind when translating or
sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't, so you need that sort of word, that emergency word that can sort of rescue you if you can't find the exact like for like solution.
Okay, and then we have COI and of the IIIM. Che allora COI è la commissione d'inchiesta, Commission of Inquiry, abbiamo detto, e IIIM mi sono appunto segnata per non dimenticarmelo, I write it down just not to forget it, internal impartial independent mechanism.
International,
sorry, yes, international impartial independent mechanism, quindi è il meccanismo internazionale imparziale indipendente, che però noi lasciamo con l'acronimo inglese, non abbiamo un corrispondente in italiano come acronimo. E, ecco, poi questo per adesso...
So that's another one of those acronyms that certainly in this context you'll hear used quite a bit, triple IM, so... Again, just be prepared for that if you hear it.
And the last thing I wanted to mention, negotiated peaceful solution of the conflict in Syria. Ok, quindi per favorire una soluzione pacifica negoziata. Quindi una soluzione pacifica, sì, negotiated, quindi direi semplicemente negoziato uguale all'inglese quasi. So
I would just point out here also to favor a negotiated peaceful solution. That favor doesn't sound quite right in English. I don't know about Italian, but this, I mean, I know in French, for example, they would say pour favoriser une solution. So what would you say in Italian, like to
favorire, sì,
favorire, okay.
O incoraggiare.
So in here in English, right, this is where we might use to foster, to promote, to foster a negotiated peaceful solution. So yeah, this, I mean, this is if you're going from Italian into English and in Italian you hear favorire.
Yeah, right.
I would sort of hesitate before saying favor. Because it doesn't, funny, we tend to talk favors more as a noun, to be honest. We don't use it as much as a verb. I mean, you can in certain contexts, but I would say to foster a peaceful solution, for example.
Can you use encourage, for example, encourage or
to encouraging a negotiated peaceful solution? Yeah, you could say to encourage. Yeah. I think, yeah, foster and promote, are the best collocations.
Yeah. Okay, and I think that's all. Do you want to add anything?
No, I think we've touched on all basically the main points from my side, from the native English speaker side. Very useful. It's not a very long text. It's only one page long, if that. But there's a lot of very important vocabulary in that to take on board and just to remember, make sure that you recognize it anytime you're doing these sort of political statements. It's very useful vocab.
Yeah, right. Concludo con una traduzione a vista, giusto per riassumere quello che è stato detto fino ad ora, come traduzioni di varie parole, eccetera. Mettiamo adesso insieme i pezzi, componiamo il puzzle. Ok, allora... signora Presidente, l'Italia vorrebbe ringraziare la Commissione d'inchiesta per i rapporti presentati oggi a questo Consiglio e ringrazia per l'importante lavoro svolto nel documentare le gravi violazioni dei diritti umani commesse da tutte le parti coinvolte nel conflitto in Siria nell'ultimo decennio. È sconvolgente vedere alla larga diffusione di abusi che il popolo siriano ha sofferto a partire dal 2011, in particolare dall'utilizzo diffuso della detenzione arbitraria, tortura o trattamento inumano e degradante, incluso la violenza sessuale e di genere, così come anche violazioni continue degli obblighi umanitari internazionali e il continuo prendere di mira deliberatamente, sistematicamente i civili e le loro proprietà, incluso scuole e strutture mediche. L'Italia esorta tutte le parti a prendere le misure necessarie per rivelare il destino di coloro che sono stati fatti scomparire forzatamente o che ancora sono scomparsi. Comunque, coinvolgendo significativamente tutti i meccanismi esistenti e supportando le famiglie delle vittime. Poiché siamo tutti d'accordo sul fatto che non ci dovrebbe essere impunità per gli autori di crimini di guerra, crimini contro l'umanità e gravi violazioni di diritti umani, è di significativa importanza e una condizione necessaria per alimentare la pace e la riconciliazione nazionale, di ripristinare la giustizia e ritenere gli autori responsabili per i loro crimini. Tuttavia, quindi l'Italia non risparmierà alcuno sforzo nel rafforzare le azioni per combattere l'impunità, incluso supportare i lavori della commissione d'inchiesta e del meccanismo internazionale imparziale indipendente, che sono essenziali per favorire una soluzione di pace negoziata del conflitto in Siria. Grazie. Ecco, quindi direi che questa è la traduzione a vista.
I've learned a few new words anyway, a few new constructions to recognize.
Good. Okay.
Okay, well, I hope everyone found that a useful episode. Hope you've learned some new tricks, some new vocab there that's going to come in useful for you. Anything you want to say before we finish up, Sarah?
No, I think
before I close the meeting.
That's all. That's all.
Okay,
yeah.
well, right. Well, remember, if you've enjoyed the episode, if you found it useful, please do smash the like button and please do subscribe if you haven't done so already, and pass the message on to all your friends, all your colleagues, students, whoever it may be, if you think that this can help them in becoming better interpreters, translators, whatever it may be. Keep following us, me and Sarah, on the LinkedIn group. We try and post new material every day, one form or another, be it videos on the YouTube channel or shorter little videos, whatever, or translations on the LinkedIn group. And that is pretty much it for today. So all I have to say to everyone is arrivederci.
Arrivederci.
Arrivederci to Sarah. Arrivederci to the viewers out there. And when are Italy playing next in the football?
No idea. Sorry.
Oh, gosh, he doesn't follow football.
No,
it must be
not at all.
Have you got it? Oh, well, good luck to Italy. Good luck to Italy. You'll be fine. My team, Scotland, I think we're the shittest team in the championship, unfortunately. But oh well, at least we got there.
Okay.
At least we got there.
Okay, so we'll see.
All right, we'll see how it goes. I'll tell you the result. I'll tell you the result, Sarah.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
Okay.
You beat Turkey 3-0 last
Really?
week. Yeah, you beat them 3-0. Yeah.
Okay.
You're doing fine. Italy will be fine.
Okay.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Okay.
All right, everyone. With that, all that remains to be said is that episode 70 of the Interpretation Station stands adjourned.